I value that I can really go anywhere. I can choose my thing, I can choose my audience, I can choose what I want to do, what I don't want to do. For me, that was freedom.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you. I'm done with that question. Oh,
Hi, I'm Rita. Yes, I'm speaking again tomorrow. Okay, we'll follow. First one. Email. Okay. I don't know. Or why did you write it down here? Yes. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Can we take a group picture together?
Oh, I know. Yeah, sure.
You want group picture together?
Yeah, thank you. I have to say, be careful. Here, come on. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
3, 2, 1, action.
Thank
you.
You have the
Stopping. No problem. Where are you from, Tiffany? Where are you from? America. Florida. Florida. Which part? I live in Hollywood. Private school. I lived there in this area as well, but then back to Germany, and now I'm in India since 5 years. I live here. I'm a life coach, and there's a cricket, the national team captain, so it's just called in Missouri, which is a court here, and they asked me to come here to work with them. So I work with them. And then I put in my company since 4.5 years. And she's the event manager of my company. That's very true. The pain that is present inside, that is really good. Right, so this is also when I get speeches, so they're always proactive when they go to some want to build the lives that they feel, whatever the message is at this time. But I love that. But what do you do when people are giving up super
I think
easily?
they have it. She's giving an extra shine.
You hear that?
Yes, actually.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm not sure. Is this yours?
So many people with so many things.
Yeah. I'm not sure where you from. This is really cool.
Well, my business partner's a graphic designer. She went, yeah.
That's lovely. It's so easy actually. It's quite handy for people who in a certain topic.
Yeah.
The booklet is like you
So
have to
hard.
like
And
go
it
down
doesn't
the
have
whole
the
thing.
speaker names.
Yeah, it doesn't have the speaker. No, but it's yeah. We'll just wait for 5 more minutes and then start the session because the lead speaker is not there today. I think she was supposed to be there. I'm the podium. So of course I have lesser things to say than I was waiting. You get like so I think we wait for 5 minutes and see if somebody else is also
So
coming.
everyone get a coffee for yourself.
Yeah, sure.
Makes so much more sense.
Everybody wants to.
My second time last year, this year.
But I think this every year it's going to become bigger.
It's definitely getting bigger. Last year we had 109 countries participate.
This time I saw it on the
It
website.
should be about 100
Like,
and
I was
something.
like,
They were expecting 170 last year. That was what they had expected this year. I don't know how many. It's huge. The pleasure of the whole thing is that nobody is judging, nobody is analyzing. Everyone's trying to absorb what is being said.
they've come with free mind here. Like, okay,
Absolutely.
we've come, we don't know who we're going to meet, how we're going to meet people, we don't even know, one of the things going around. And I think for me, probably, like me and Priyanka know each other from some other group. And I just came, so Priya, one of our other group members, she was in the organizing committee. And I think, we would love to come and see. There's so many women coming from all over the world. We don't even know when we get the opportunity to meet so many people. Because one platform, this way, is like huge. And then like, yeah, we come, we don't know what's going to happen, but we come. I think a lot of people have come because of that. So I think your mom has come with me. Yeah, sure. We start the session probably. I think, or else she must be a little yeah. It's okay. So we probably start with introduction. I'm going to introduce myself, and my name is written here. So my name is Chani Dasani. I don't know everybody will be able to pronounce it. It means Chani means moonlight. So for everybody's reference, who doesn't understand a lot of Hindi words, so I have passed in the corporate background. I did my master's in fashion management. I moved on to work with corporates. So I worked with a lot of brands like Armani, Ferrari. Then I worked with Louis Philippe and a lot of other Indian brands. Then I went on to work with an online startup called Snappy, which everybody knows about it. So it's getting sold recently. I quit last year to start my own thing, and I launched my own home decor and lifestyle brand where we're trying to bridge the gap in the middle to upper middle class segment where the options are lesser. And we're targeting to provide products which are at affordable prices. But of course, we didn't want to do just products, so we came up with an idea of renting out decor. So we are starting the decor rental section where, yeah, so that's about it. We'll start with introduction of other people. Probably we'll start with you. So yeah. My name is Shoshana Brucker. I'm from the United States area they call Appalachia in the U.S. And I'm a business owner, I'm a lawyer, and I'm also a magistrate for public education. So, I'm Shanna Kokeke, and I'm from the UK. And I'm actually a lawyer in England, but yeah. Okay. And yeah. My name is Vicky Marshall. I'm a third speaker, and I have three businesses in Bristol. I have a company that includes selling bikes, all my bikes and back from the things and stuff. So we've got individuals and entrepreneurs, we've got corporations, organizations, and also non-organizations, and books as well. Help with that process, and books provide inspiration and education. But we're kind of all about mind, body, spirit, vision. So how can we put together energy right? And we're going to got that. I'm Priyanka. I'm from New Delhi. I run a snacks company. So we manufacture and market and sell our own snacks. I started a company called Wogra about a year ago. Before that, I've had a 10-year stint in the corporate sector across content and publishing industries. In my last role, I was heading marketing nationwide for a publishing house for Rocket Education. And yeah, now I'm going through the motions of being my own boss. And it is every bit what you read and what you hear people say. And I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Yeah, hi, I'm Shilata Sawant. I'm from media, so I'm here to cover a big session. Okay. It's very sensitive here. It does. Hi, I'm Indu Yadav. We're based in Dubai. We've been based there for the last 2 decades. Firstly, I'm a mom and a wife. That's a very big job. Trust me. And then I try to get my good energy going for a lot of social causes, especially linked with children and women and laborers in the market. So we do, we as a group of friends and I, we collect funds or goods or things which are of utility for these people. We reach out to them, we interact with them, and we connect them to each other. But firstly and foremostly, my priorities lie with my daughters. Therefore, I am here. That's lovely. Yeah. I'm Dr. Vandana Chadha. I've been running a school for the last 29 years. I've been an educator for 35 years. And I love small children. I'm always working with small children. I'm sure we all love small children. When they grow up, I think they become a little bit of. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, myself Vicky Haman. I'm from New Delhi. I'm an aestheticist which self tells that it's a beautification of head to toe for everyone. I've been working here from past 23 years. That's a long time. I'm very Hi, I'm Marcia. I'm a mother. Just so you need to come. Yeah, I mean, I was in the corporate world. I was in banking for a very long time. I went to internships. I was doing a job. I quit that and I started my first work entry to the healthcare world. It's actually a startup called One and she called recently around. Yes. So I was in business development with them in their early days. I moved to Delhi before that. And then after that, having done that work, I went back to Dubai to set up the region's first digital health startups under the Sheikh's guidance. So I think that's very good. Helps learn a lot. He's not really trusted in the industry. And now this is after lives. I somehow feel that my dad, who started his business 30 years back, he didn't have any of this. He didn't have digital media, he didn't have startup culture, he didn't have anybody, anything. He got out of Rajasthan, he went to Calcutta. Calcutta was like big that time, so I'm based out of Calcutta. He just went to Calcutta and one day he told my grandfather that, I want to do business. When today we go and we tell our parents I want to do business, they get hyper. Like, oh, why do you want to leave your corporate job? You're getting so much money, you're settled, it's nice, you're comfortable. Why do you want to do your business? And back then, it was so much more easier. He just went to Calcutta. One day he was like, okay, I have X amount of money. I'll just put it and start something. He started and he's been running that since 30 years. And I have not seen entrepreneurship like that. Today, we have fixed entrepreneurship with a lot of things which are not required. Entrepreneurship happens in daily lives. So, if somebody takes an initiative to just go and help somebody on the road, that is also a part of your development in entrepreneurship. It is taking up something. So, and entrepreneurs, I've read so many articles about entrepreneurs. They say entrepreneurs are crazy. I don't understand why is it crazy. When you go, you do something, what you want to do, what you like. It's not crazy. It's something which you should have been doing from a very long time. It doesn't take years to come to that. You've always been that. It's just that you realize over a period of time that you want to take up something which you have been wanting to take up. So then when I went and I got this topic, three T's of entrepreneurship. So I went online, I googled, oh my god, let me find something. What are the T's? क्या है मुझे क्या बोलना है? Sorry, my Hindi I just like I try to reduce that. And so I found only one article where they wrote what are the three T's. And I was going through it, there was not a lot of information. And then I thought that, okay, like I have to sit down and I have to write and I have to figure out what I am using a part of that in my work. And of course, I was a little dependent on Helene that she's going to come with experience and she's going to speak about something. So I'm going to catch something and like probably talk on that. But so I want to understand what do you guys think? What are the T's of entrepreneurship? What do you think is the T, like anything what comes to your mind right now? Trust. She says trust. Anybody else? What do you think?
Tenacious.
Yeah,
Being tenacious.
that's a part of it. Something else?
Training.
Training.
What about temperation?
Temperament.
Temperament.
Something else?
Try.
Try. Anything?
Thriving.
Striving.
Testing.
Dancing. Okay, so there are a lot of it. None of them were there with the three T's. Sorry, but they're all part of powerful growing when we are entrepreneurs. We thrive every day. We try to do new things. We challenge ourselves. We test things, of course, because we don't know what's going to work in the market. And they are all part of those big things. So when we talk about the three T's are very simple things. They are trends, they're talent, and they're team. Now, how do you relate to that? Trends is something, so all of you know entrepreneurs are called innovators. Nobody knows why, because they're actually doing a lot of things here and there. So they're called innovators. Why are they called innovators? Because they're following a certain kind of pattern of realizing what is the gap in the market. So you realize that today you don't have something, so I should do something like that. So I start something on that field and I become an entrepreneur. So I found that gap. And then you see a certain kind of trend. Trend is not only what is in today. Trend is something which can come tomorrow. So when I was talking about the rental section, there was a big gap in the market. Why I came up, not just as a product, but as a service of decor rental is, there's a big gap where people are facing storage problems in their houses. A normal person may have a 2 BHK, 3 BHK, 4 BHK. You have two cupboards in every room, and you probably have some space beside your bed, and you just keep on stuffing stuff. You go to so many places, you like something, you can't figure out where to store, kahan rakhe, we don't know what to do with that. But the thing is that you want those things, right? You want it. When people come to your house, you want your house to look so beautiful. And you want those things in your daily life also. How do you get it? How do you match the challenge of storage? You rent it out, right? You don't have to do anything. We come, we drop the stuff, we pick it up your place. You have it in your house for a day, for 2 days, for as much time as you want on a daily basis. You have limited income. A guy who's earning 20,000 rupees has a wife, has a family, has everything. And then there are certain expectations which keep on coming over a period of time. How do you minimize costs of storage? That's a very big challenge. And I came to know about this because, so how many of you know a lot of, like a few of storage companies which are there in India? Do you guys have any idea? So everybody knows Bombay, right? Bombay is cramped up. Bombay, there's no place. Like it, one small bathroom, one small room is big if you're in town. So Bombay is that cramped up. There is a company called Box My Space. What do? They just store your things at a warehouse and they charge a bomb for that. What do? You are making a house. You have so much stuff already in your house. What do you do with that? Where do you keep it? You can't keep it in a relative space. You can't keep it somewhere else. You need some space to keep it. How do you do that? You don't have to do anything. You just have to call them up. They come to your house. They pack your things. They take it and they store it for as much time as you want. And that's a brilliant idea. That's a brilliant idea. When I read about it 2 years back, I said I want to open a warehouse and probably do plants for those 8, 10 days that they want for their decor and then take back those plants. And that's lovely, right? But the thing is, how many people know about it? My whole idea is that's where we've come to the second part that we follow certain trends, but those trends fade off. How you can mobilize those trends is actual entrepreneurship. You know something that there is a gap. How do you make money out of that gap? Today I'm an entrepreneur because of passion, but I want to make money, right? I'm not there sitting just for passion. I'm going to make money, come out of it, do something else, probably innovate something else. And eventually, that's what my targets are. That over a period of time, I have to come into profitability. But I just can't sit with an idea today, have inventory, and not do anything about it. You have to mobilize that in a certain way, and that's where internet comes into play. I think that is one of the trends which are there, which we can mobilize in entrepreneurship because it's widely available. It's connecting the world. Today we are here because of the internet. I wouldn't have known this if I didn't have the internet. How would I know that XYZ people are going to here? I went online, I checked it, and it's internet. You can connect people from all over the world. And that's where you mobilize the right kind of marketing with the right kind of research with a trend you are following is something which is going to take you far. From trends comes your business. From trends comes entrepreneurship. But where does the team and the talent come into play? You can be an entrepreneur by yourself. You can do everything. You can run the show and be happy that, yeah, I am a sole entrepreneur. I don't need a team. Yeah, so, I think one of the few things which all of us face is investment in human resource. We always have constrained budgets. I have constrained budgets. When I started my business, I had a very constrained business. I had X amount of money. I bought my inventory. I put it out there. And then I said that, oh my god, money is getting exhausted because I have to buy more inventory because people want that product and I have to run a brand. And so I was like, I can't afford human resource. And I think probably that was the biggest gap which I faced. Human resource or a talent is what runs your company. If you have the right person in your team, you can go so far that you can't imagine. Because your job as an entrepreneur is to lead, is to strategize, and is to ideate. Your job is to give direction to people who are there in your team. That's how you reach far. And that's when I came back and I said that no, this is not happening. I can't just run the show. Like I can't pick up inventory, I can't pack, I can't take it, I can't give it back, I can't talk to the customer also. I need somebody. But who is that somebody? There's someone who said that invest in good people and not good things. And that's really true because those good people lead you to a good team. A good team leads to you a good company, and a good company leads to good economies. So it is about economies of scale. If you don't have the right people, you can't do it. And that's where I probably understand that the trends. So I'll take global examples. When people talked about Airbnb, people said, who's going to rent out an apartment and who's going to stay in an apartment? I don't want to stay. I will go to Ritz Carlton and stay. I will go to Copy Hotel and stay. Today, London is so expensive. You can't afford, like if you're traveling, see, exorbitant budgets are different, but I would travel. I don't have that amount of money to stay for a month in a hotel. I can't do it. So what do? I go see Airbnb. And 6 years earlier, people were not open to that idea. Traveling to Europe, traveling to UK was big in itself. Somebody is spending X amount of money. We are not going to stay in an apartment. Why Airbnb? Do you guys have any idea why Airbnb became popular? What was the reason that people started adapting to Airbnb? Any
Families traveling together.
something?
Affordable hotels also. Affordability, definitely.
So I tell you the biggest reason why Airbnb became popular was US was going through a recession. Even in America. Nobody even thought that recession is something which is going to make Airbnb big. And that is the third factor, what makes a business big is the time. You can have all the three G's, but when you launch your brand, your entrepreneurship venture, if the time is not right, you're going to fail. You're really going to fail because of the fact that the market is not ready. Consumers are not ready. So we have seen so many people having so many great ideas, but when you ban something with a certain kind of demand in the market, that's where it becomes big. Airbnb was ideating since 4 years before they launched, and when they launched, they only launched because of the timing. US went through such a big recession at that point of time, and the number of people traveling were more because people were migrating different places for jobs. And to find jobs, you need places to stay, and you can't afford hotels. So that's when you do Airbnb. And the trends have been following. India, being a developing country, has come to a point right now where there is Oyo, where there is Zostel, where there is, probably Tribo, which have come up as companies which are giving people places to stay at an affordable rate. And that's how today five stars have become affordable. At one point of time, I remember going to Taj or going to probably a five star was luxury. Like my parents would take me in a month and be like, oh yeah, we're going to five star for a dinner because it was exorbitant. Today, it's cheap. It's because of the fact that there is so much competition already. And today, at few places, Airbnb has become more expensive. If you go to Paris, Airbnb is really expensive. You can probably find a hotel, a three star or a four star, lesser than Airbnb. That is what entrepreneurship is about. It is about timing. You have to be there at the right time. Another example I will take is of an Uber. Did you ever think, like Delhi specifically, I feel people have so many cars. One person has two cars in their house. And if there are four people, there are four cars. So everybody has one car in Delhi. The amount of pollution which is there in Delhi is equivalent to the amount of cars which are there. Though I think that it's not the sole reason for pollution, but of course, Delhi movement of luxury things is so high that people are so used to going in the luxury that I have my car, I have my driver. Why take a cab to office? We shouldn't do that, We have like a certain status to maintain. We want to do that. We don't want to go in cabs. Today, I'll tell you, I paid 350 bucks to come from pool from my house to here, which is exorbitant, which is really exorbitant. If you go to see it, it's because of the fact that there's such high demand of cabs today. When Uber started back in US, people were used to taxis. They were not used to Uber. Why would Uber come at that point of time? There's another reason behind it, and that is the time. The time was that the taxi drivers were not able to earn enough to run their families. And they needed more money. And Uber came up with an idea that once a taxi cab is going to take one passenger, we are going to pay him X amount. He's going to get the fare, he's also going to get that X amount. And that was the timing. That was the segment where the drivers were not able to earn enough. And that's what's happening in India. Today, if you go to see about it, Ola drivers and Uber Uber drivers earn more than an MBA student in working in a company. I was getting paid 60,000 probably in my job when I started, and Uber drivers was making a lakh. So I thought that, oh, like, do you think that I am somewhere, my education has gone back, and when you go to compare with it, they were earning so much more, and they were becoming developed. So once you have money, the disposable income increases over a period of time. And that's what leads to more business. That's what leads to more people coming into that field. And that's the time. The time is a very important factor. When Ola started in Bangalore, Bangalore faces a lot of problems in terms of normal commute and daily life. They just have auto and they just have buses. So when I was there starting, I remember fighting with the auto wala every day. I would go in because they are really, culturally against North Indians, fair people, so South Indians are there, it's there. And they would probably charge us more. The fare is 100, they would tell us 150. And I was like, why 150? Why would you take that? And the day Ola launched, I was happy. I was so happy that today my problems are solved because Ola is there. And it solves so many problems. It is about the time. The third thing which I'm going to talk about today is the team. Why a team is so important in entrepreneurship. I think we all talked about striving, we all talked about passion, we all talked about ideas, innovation, everything. But nothing comes into action till the time you don't have a team, right? You can think about 100 things. I daydream a lot. So I think about 100 things in a day. But I don't do it all. But if I know that I have somebody behind me who can ideate that, is where my idea becomes into a venture. So when I started something, I know I can do that. I have aesthetic sense, I have color sense, I can curate a range. So where do I do that? It's all in my mind. You need some support. You need something to go forward with. And a team is something which leads you to that point. You start at Z and you reach to A with your team. You don't reach alone. So the biggest factor when you hire a talent, that's what I said, a talent is related to a team. If you have good people, you lead a good team. And that's what all the MNCs have been doing over the world. Why do people hire from Stanford and not from a normal college? Why do they do that? Why do people hire from Harvard or Oxford? Why are they so expensive? There are hundreds of MBA colleges. But why are those colleges so expensive? Have you ever thought about it? We do think that, okay, the education is great, you have great infrastructure, there's a brand name and everything. The skill development is a very big part of a team. And that's what happens in those colleges. And that's where people come from who lead things. And when we see somebody, so I have people in my team who have no experience also, who have experience, and who are starting fresh from college. It's a mix of things. But what I've seen probably from my personal experiences when I hire somebody, I see that zeal. I see that enthusiasm for somebody to work in a culture where we don't know what's happening tomorrow. Because I keep on changing things, right? Today you start something, tomorrow it's different because the market gives you punches back. You might think that it's excellent, but it punches you back, it's not. So you get it back and then you have to rework again. But that's where the team comes into play for execution, for the right thing to do. And when we talk about the three P's of entrepreneurship, the three P's of entrepreneurship don't end at trends, talents, or team. They go so much more forward. They go on your thoughts, they go on your vision. People say that you can start something without a plan. You can, because plans don't work all the time. I plan something else 6 months down the line. It fails. I have to restart and I have to rework again. The part is that you start something and you stick to it. That perseverance to do something is what leads you farther. That passion every day. And in the last session, I think there was somebody, she made us do squats and she said that you go down, you go deeper, you go down, you go deeper. You feel the hurt, you get punches. But it's about how you come back and how you combat it is what you do. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, I think the two things which I personally feel what takes you far is about the time. Always think about the time. Always do your research well. Think about when you're going to launch it, how you're going to do it. Plans do change, but don't go in without a plan. Have a small plan. Have like a detailed thing. Okay, this is what I want to go. 5 years down the line, I see something there. You may want to change the way you're going there, but don't change that. Go for that. And keep on changing the daily things. That okay, today this is not working. Tomorrow I'm going to do something else. It's going to work. The third day I'm going to do something else if this is not working today. And that's what entrepreneurship is about. That's what I learned from my father. He went through a phase where he lost a lot of money, and he had three kids, and he had a family, and he was used to all the luxuries. So they say that you can get used to luxuries, but you can't go down below that. So if you're using something today, you can't go below that. You want to use something higher, right? You think that okay, this is where I want to reach, but the day you use something which is of a cheaper level, you feel like oh my god, there's a change in my life. And my father went through a phase when he lost a lot of money, and all I saw in him was that positivity and perseverance that, okay, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back and do it. I'm going to do it in a different way, but I'm going to do the same thing. So 30 years, he's been running the same business. Today, he's in a far more better position. Of course, things come and go, but that is what they teach you. So when I talked to my father, I told him that, I want to start something of my own. He said, see, I don't tell you not to do something of your own, but I only tell you that you have to be intact in your head if you want to do it. You can't tell me today that you want to do it. After 5 months, you can't tell me that you don't want to do it. I'm not going to let you go into something where you're not sure of. Think about it. Stay in it for a long time. See what it's giving you. 5 years down the line, make a target. Make a target of 5 years. Make a target of 2 years. See that this is the time I'm going to give myself to this. If it gives me something back, I'm going to go farther or I'm not going to go. So that is the time you give yourself. And in that time, don't give up. Think about it, hire good people, have everything. But always be that optimist who goes to office in the morning, whether you have had losses, whether you have that we can do it. And that's what your team does. If you are not positive, that isn't flowing the team. So when I go in the morning, I tell my team that okay, you guys know what you have to do today, right? However bad that they seem, people might call you and just tell you that oh we don't like you, we don't do this, etc. And then you need to come up again the next morning and be happy about what you do. And if you're not happy the next day, don't come to office. Because you will not be happy the other days. And you really you need to give that vibe in the office. So I think that's what we start from. We start at smaller things, and we have very small teams. We do things by ourselves. Women, of course, I think in India face a lot of problems because education, of course, is a very big issue which we are facing. Skill development is something which we are facing at a very big crisis, and our government is trying to do a lot of things. But the fact is that skill development is something which should be imbibed from the start and which should happen with you in your firm. If you know something, so few things which I think what you can do for the team is tell them to take an hour and do what they like. Let them pursue their hobby. They want to read something, they want to write something, they want to dance, do anything, do a session together. And that's when you come to know what are the points where people are interacting with you. There are people who don't interact, they come to office, they sit on their laptops and they go. That interaction needs to happen to make that talent imbibe into a team. You can't work into a team without knowing your team. So I think I'll probably have a quick session. Probably if anybody of you have any questions related to the three T's or any entrepreneurship thing, I'll be probably free to answer that. And we can have like a small discussion about your stories, what you've done in terms of how you invite any of the T's in your firms, like anybody probably. What trends, what talent, teams, timing. Yeah, sure, come. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, can we probably have somebody discussing about their work? Yeah, discuss about their work. Yeah, sure. But have a question? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so
I was particularly attracted to this session because I thought it might demystify for me what this terminology is about, entrepreneurship. It's a new terminology in my life, and I link it to being youthful and being creative and innovative because I see a lot of young people coming up with this trend. And so I wanted to know whether these three important T's are things that an older person like myself can inculcate and still be successful as an entrepreneur.
I think there's no age. There's no age barrier. People at 60 can do great things. People at 90 can do great things. So I am not a supporter of the fact that age is a barrier. I think if my mom wants to start something at the age of 50, I'll be more than happy. Because coming from a pedigree where she's not had the right kind of education and she's not had the best kind of facilities for her, if she can have the zeal to do something today, is what's more important. So don't ever think that age is something stopping you because people run marathons at the age of 60. I can't run a marathon right now. So trust me, I am telling you on that. I don't specifically categorize in terms of anything to do with age. It's just about the fact that if you are older, you are a little less behind in terms of technology because technology is the only thing what our younger generation is getting at the age of 3 and we got at the age of 15. So that is my gap. My gap is of those 12 years which I missed. So I didn't know that the technology could be so fast. I didn't know YouTube at the age of 3. Probably, my nieces and nephews just Google and they find everything, right? The accessibility is something which we missed on, which is where the gap was. Strengths are always going to be ever changing. Skill is something which is internal. Talents are something which you hire on your personal choice, your personal preference, on your business acumen in terms of that. The only thing which you miss out is the things which are going around the world. And today, if you have the opportunity, you are lucky that you are in this generation, that you have the opportunity of internet, of accessing information from any part of the world, of forums like this where we can sit and discuss. I wouldn't have thought of coming and meeting you where you are, but of course we can have a discussion today. So those things, what you should read on is through technology. Start reading probably or according to your business, whatever you are doing. Read more about it. Probably have subscriptions of multiple things related to that field and get a hands on. Once you get the hands on those things, then you are on your phone all the time. People are on their phones all the time nowadays. So there is no personal interaction, and that's a very big gap which I feel that people don't believe in socializing word to word, mouth to mouth. You would probably write a status on Facebook which is not really relevant in your life, but you want to look cool, so yeah, I'm updating a Facebook photo. I'm, probably partying in Maldives and doing anything. They're all crap. They're all crap. I don't believe in that. I just believe that when once you talk like this, once you talk to people, use this forum, use these 7 days to meet as many people. Because I didn't know about so many things this morning. I've been here for 4 hours, and I think I know so much more. This is your opportunity. This is what not younger generation is getting right. So anybody who's 15 is not getting this opportunity, you are. So that's where you can bridge the gap and meet. And other than that, I think to each is to own. You're going to run your own race and you're going to win. Nobody can run in each other's races. Yeah.
Um, my name is Fungai from Zimbabwe.
Hi.
And just to buttress your point, along with her question, my comment is on teams.
Yeah.
Probably, maybe what can be done for all the generation, for all the people, is to now try to have a diverse team members,
Absolutely.
a mixture of old and young. I happened last year to work with mature women.
Yeah.
My company is called Image Exchange. We're into image consultants, grooming and etiquette business skills. So from my experience, I realized that the older women, they come in with experience.
Absolutely.
Young people, they'll come up with all suggestions, but you need an experienced person to tell you that this doesn't work. Let's do it this way. Sometimes, for instance, I'm a very emotional person and I want to do things right then.
Yeah.
But she comes in with experience, saying, no, from that, yes, you're right, yes, this, but how about if we do this? Then they take you into the experience so that you see another life which I am not yet exposed to. So, according to her to her question, I strongly believe that team members, yes, the young generation, they're coming with all the technical knowledge, expertise, and other applications that probably we are not yet exposed to. So on the three T's, I strongly believe that they cut across everyone. However, now we need to be calculating, proactive, and strategically come up with team members who can put all together the ideas that you have so that they can work for the benefit of the business.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with her. And why that happens with the older generation is because of one word, patience. They've lived through those 40 years.
I was going to say that.
Through different things.
And patience.
It's patience, right? We are so fast. We want every. When I was talking about those steps, you want delivery in half an hour, or if you don't pay for that thing. Do you think our mothers do that? They used to go to the market, get vegetables, make something. Today we want McDonald's at the swipe of our phone, right? People are not used to that earlier. That is why they have that patience to deal with things in a calm mind. We lose our focus so many times, and that reluctancy to do something is what takes you far. And that is your experience. That's what I said, that is somebody's experience, what comes with time. Before time, you can't learn. If you're not living one more day, you don't know how it is tomorrow, right? You are here today. You know it right now. You don't know how it's going to be tomorrow, how it's going to be day after, 5 years later, 10 years later. And when you talk about teams, teams are dependent on the kind of scale you have in a business, the kind of people you need in a business. There are businesses which don't require people over a certain age. You take aviation industry. If you take air hostesses, then brackets of age are dependent, right? You see footballers retire at such a young age, right? There are different industries which are varying. Now it depends how you can inculcate somebody's experience with somebody's new innovation. So that is a mix of young and old probably, and that is very subjective to what kind of business I run. Like today, I need somebody in my firm to do quality checks for my products who's experienced for 15 years because I want him to do that. But to ideate or to design, I'm okay with a fresher who's coming out of a college because I know that the work is good. They're good at what they're doing. They've come with an experience, with a new technology, with new things. They've done new designs. So I hire somebody like that. But it's a mix of things. So have that mix of things.
I just want to also add to, I think, what everyone's saying. Also, another thing which cuts across age bracket is your simple desire to learn. I could be a 15-year-old, but I don't want to learn. I don't want to do anything outside my school curriculum, and that is the end of it. And I could be a 60-year-old, but I'm so excited to learn, to talk, or to meet people, or to read on internet, on or in the books. So I think, yeah, if you have that desire to learn, I don't think age is any.
And I think that's what like I face a lot of issues because here we think that there's a certain kind of formal education. You go to school, you do your bachelor's, you go to your master's, and that's where it ends. You've done law, you're going to be a lawyer. You've done medicine, you're going to be a doctor. Can you be something else? Have you ever thought about it? We just stereotype things in a certain way that if I go and tell somebody that, oh, I want to learn how to paint today at the age of 27, they'll be like, oh, you've done commerce. Why do you want to suddenly get into the creative field and paint? There is no age. I'm going for my education still. I'm going to be traveling and I'm going to be learning and I'm going to be learning new things. I'm going to learn photography, which really helps me for my blogging, which I do it as a hobby. So that's something which I want to do all my life. I don't want to leave it. And next year I might want to learn curating. Other year I want to learn a language. So the thing is, it's all what you think, right? Like you put yourself in that space in a society where you think that no, this is cliche and that is where we are going to be. Because that might not be right for the people outside, but you don't realize that that might be right for you. So push yourself.
I think building on that point, I love how you're trying to understand what entrepreneurship is. It's not like a lot of times when you explain to someone, they go, "Oh, I'm not the type A person who would be an entrepreneur. I'm just not that person." But I think entrepreneurship is actually a mindset over and above anything else. There's not a certain kind of person who has to be who has these individual qualities or skills that makes them. And going back to your point, I think a lot of times based on various cultures and the way we've been raised and communities we live in, we are put in a box and we're told, I think this is a career that should be, because this is what success looks like. And if you go down this certain path, like it's going to be optimal for you. So you recommend going down this area. So you start putting yourself in a box. And then it's a safe option. You feel safe, you feel comfortable. And when you put yourself down this, I mean, all of us have intuition. We know when we're in a place where we're meant to be or we're not meant to be. I used to think that it did not, right? I was frustrated all the time. I felt it was really monotonous. Yes. I wasn't learning anything. And the people around me weren't there for their passion. They weren't there to like learn something. They were there to earn money.
But when I transitioned out of there into a field which my parents were very supportive of this, but at first they were quite shocked because I was like, yeah, I want to go into healthcare. They're like, what? If you spent all that money to get you into university to study business management and finance, but now you want to go into healthcare, which you have no academic background in, what does this future even hold for you? Are you going to make any money without any technical skills? But I was like, you know what? It's a now or never kind of moment. I have to do it right now in order to not be at the age of 50 and turn back to like, why did I not take that chance? I don't want to be at that age and regret.
I think I took the entrepreneurship call because of that. So I was, of course, I'm growing older by every day, and you get closer to 30, then 35, then 40. So I just randomly went to my manager and I said, that I'm not going to, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is killing me because I'm demotivated and I just don't feel that I'm doing something which is so valuable that I'm taking back something. Right? Yeah. You go to a workplace to learn something new every day, or to probably give in what you know. If you're not doing any of that, you're absolutely demotivated. So I went on for 6 months, TKLEC, changed my team, everything happened. And then I went back, I said, I can't do this. I really cannot do this. And I am not made for this. I just want to just let go. So he's like, we've changed your team. Like you'll be. So I was the only girl in the supply chain sector. It's a very male-dominated sector, any which ways. So I used to have all these men around me like, ye ladki, this girl, kitna, what will be she able to do? She go to the warehouse, they all of that. And I said, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to be in that zone all the time where people are stereotyping. So I went and I said that I can't do this. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I said, I blog. So I love food blogging, traveling, and all of that. So I started my own blog in that time. And I said, I'm going to take a sabbatical. I'm going to give myself. And I was actually I was 26. So my parents thought that I'm a psycho, that suddenly I've decided to quit my job and sit at home and probably figure out what I want to do. Because I've given so much time in education and then I've told them, no, I'm career oriented, I'm ambitious, and like I want to do all the things that I like. And they were like, are you sure that you want to do this? I said, I've already quit. So I've come, like, I'm at home, and I started that. And my sabbatical didn't work out, and I ended up starting my own thing, and I am super happy. I think it's because I went out of the way to do something. It's because I'm happy today.
Did something which is like
which is closer to you.
Which is closer.
So,
I have a question first. Because we've heard, I mean, yes, like you were in a corporate job and then you did your own thing. Same for me, I did a corporate job and I did my own thing. But for you, what has been interesting me and I'm very curious to know, because you switched to then working again for someone else, but in a completely different industry, which was also not your academic background. How was the macro environment? How did they react? How did 1MG, you said, right? How did 1MG respond to your, probably when you wrote to them or you said that you want to work with them? How did they respond?
I think the transition over to healthcare became much easier for me because, as she said, when you're transitioning, you have to take into account what you know and what you don't know. Yeah. And I think technology has become such a large enabler for all of us that if you want to study something like, say, coding, that at any age, then if I can be this age, you can just go online and there's a site called Girls Who Code. You can join a community, get access to free on Rails platform, whatever you want, and start becoming and start getting the skills or empowerment that you need to get to your next step. So I started reading like crazy. If you saw me, I was at my desk every day just devouring whatever was on the internet. I started looking at accelerators in America that were focused on healthcare, about health and startup health. And I just kept reading about the different startups that were coming out of there, how much money they got, their journeys. And I started to understand the terminology. I started to learn how to speak healthcare. So when I went for my interview with 1MG, with the founders, who are quite intimidating by themselves because they both come to Ivy League, they both work in Silicon Valley, they've come back to India, implemented their ideas, that have revolutionized the way we look at medicines now and how we understand what we're using on ingesting, how we're paying for our medicines because they give you cheaper substitutes on that app, which can help you save a lot of money. So when I met them, the one thing that happened that was really interesting was how we connected. I didn't know them from before, I just read about them and I didn't newspapers. But I was able to speak their language, and when they saw that, they were like, yeah, she's going to be able to grasp our product or our service much faster, and she'll be able to sell it or get people on board or convince people that this is something that they need in their life to be able to navigate throughout ecosystem. Like you can buy drugs for yourself and you equip yourself. Exactly. So you have to self-educate. Honestly, there's so many resources out there. And not just self-educate, but I think one thing that I've noticed throughout my life that has really helped has been to push myself to meet people who I might not understand, who are from different cultures and who are from different sort of backgrounds. Because I think everyone has a story. You can never write off anybody from any social strata. You have to go and talk to them and try to understand what it means them and where life is taking them. Because 100% you will learn something from them. And like that's why something like that really would be so important. Because I really want to learn every person. I don't care if you're a 10-year-old or 50, like 25-year-old or even a 60-year-old. I know I'll learn something. So I think that's really important.
Very well. Close the session. Close the session now. Time is over. And Chandni, good job done.
Thank you.
Very good job. Thank you. Well done. We could just relate. So many things we could just relate.
I actually was not prepared.
Your language is even what you're I think you have enough.
Yeah.
So we need a photograph together.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to be speaking in one of the sessions for 5 minutes. It's how small business helps in innovation and growth in our society. So it's happening from 6 to 7. If anybody is there, please come on. I have to check. I'll just tell you, is there already? Yeah, today itself. It's there today, 6 to 7. And probably whoever wants to come will come. Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you so much. Come, we'll all get a picture.
Let's have a photograph. CM11.
CM11, 6 to 7.
6 to 7. That makes sense.
PM 6 to 7.
We don't remember that. Please take a photograph.
Come over. I think sorry, you can probably come to play. Oh,
Don't follow.
The serious business here.
Thank you so much for being here. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, just yes, I will check. I will have
surviving very well in spite of all the cons and this is the fact. And of course, so it was very good business to be in with some of the young children. Amazing. And the learning process, as you said, you're reading, what you have to read. So today's green companies and all, agricultural companies. And suddenly they wanted me to leave and say, oh, you're working for us for what? For politics in the office and not really enjoying what you're doing. Then I said, let me. And then I said, no, I want to do work. I'm going to do my best. And I did get a little bit of and I learned that I think the companies, most people, I keep telling them that it's very, I just spend about half an hour with this person, and if you don't, then they do something. So you really have to be there. I'm just managing it. I don't want to go to Subic because I don't want to be so involved, but it is an amazing and the learning process is just, I mean, you have to learn to be able to survive. Yeah. You know what? Get my head around the mother. The mother. So you realize what you so when you go back, you go with so much of energy. That's what you can do in 4 hours. The men don't do it in 12 hours. That's what you are by the way. That's what it is. That's how we manage. And they know I'm a writer. When I go there, they really have to write. Yes, it's very they have so many excuses and so on. And I want people who are in the industry to really have to get who have to be there for anything. So I feel that it is yeah. I was born and brought up in Hyderabad. I speak Telugu so I basically connected my friends. I think while like they were giving me also ideas. I was into promoting tours to outbound, like Dubai or wherever. This is why I was in India. I'm getting my big passion. Yeah, I'm still in the motorcycle journey. It's all about Kumbh It's 7 journeys. So 6 journeys are going to 7. That's why I think it came out in the same no, when I do high profile, I do big spirituality is India. So that's the easiest thing to do. And so easy, and everybody is looking at spirituality. Everybody is looking at India fund. I'm going to make it 7. CF, right? I am all the best. I see the energy in you. I really wish you all the best. Someday I'll see you in one of big profiles. I'm working on it. Yeah. If I'm back there, you're going to go very well.
Thank you, because yes, you're always going to like you're always to be that coaching face. Yeah. This no, everybody you tell me I think we will remember. I will remember you for this. I don't stress out too much. Yeah. Just me. I'll see my diary. There's nothing on the also the case studies, because then it doesn't become monotonous. Because you're using different brands, no? Yeah. So it's easy. You don't understand. Unless you becomes all over or everything starts to become Uber or something. Yeah. Like mobilizing things. So if someone looks low, Uberizing furniture. Yeah. But that's the whole idea that how do you put content into yours is something which we feel like we can't put the dots together to create one thing. So you do multiple things. That's what happens with you. I think so many things that you need to do. My parents are Asian. So my parents still tell me, I'll see you guys. I don't my parents just treat them has to have so I have a question. So I was like, so even if I was like, okay, do whatever you want, I still want to do whatever I want. So that's why I pushed myself in the course. So I just had this for studying. So I was supposed Chelsea or Instagram decoration studies. Two things which are very different. But I would love to do it. And there was a challenge for like 10 days. No, I was moving out of the car, Croatia and Austria. No, no, solo. Solo? Yeah.
How did you swing that past you guys?
Nothing, I just told them I'm going too far, I'm going to travel and come back.
Yeah,
And they're like, now we have a good do. You still do what you have to do.
Really nice countries. Where from?
I haven't done up to plan my whole itinerary, so I'm going home for I'm going to Calcutta. So I'm from Calcutta, where I've been in Delhi since last 2.5 3 years. Then I was in Bangalore for 3 years, studying and working. So I'm going home for I said before the money gets back, so I have to come right now. I actually wanted to attend the other sessions. I don't know. There's no other session. Oh, there's lunch or something like that. So there is. Yeah, this is next time I think I'm going to cover. No, it's fine. Next time we should say that. It's really cool.
How do you like tell people that you're speaking?
I don't know. Like I'm literally very sure I don't even anticipate that there will be 5 people.
Yeah.
तुम्हारे पास का न्यूज़ भी एक एक करती है जाए था ना करने से नहीं होती तो इतनी प्यार है यार इतनी है लास्ट इतनी है ना रहते लास्ट ये इसीलिए बना रखा होगा इसी का इधर पता क्या सिस्टम दे रखा है ये वाला बटन दबा दो बिल्कुल बंद अच्छा ये वाला दबा दो बिल्कुल स्लो आवाज ये आई रहने उसका नहीं उठा दो देख लेते हैं अरे यार इनका हाँ लगी हुई तो यही हमारे को तो ऊपर वैसे दिख रहा है यार बड़े आदमी आ रहा हूँ नहीं हमारा यार फर्क तो हो गया यार कार्ड निकालना
cheek, cheek. Cheek, one, cheek.
Too much of gas. Too much of gas here. Too much.
ये अंदर इधर रूम वगैरह हाँ अच्छा ट्रेन के मैचेस चल रहे हैं अच्छा अच्छा पता नहीं वापस आता आएगा अभी हाँ अभी पता नहीं कितने बजे आएगा पर आएगा जरूर